Now that you are in a deep trance, we are going to give you a trigger, or reinforce it if you already have it. The trigger phrase is "I am a pink dragon stuffed animal." If you use this trigger phrase, you will undergo the transformation that you are about to experience again at whatever speed you want. Additionally, you will instantly turn back into a human if you try to use the reset phrase "I am not a pink dragon stuffed animal." If anyone says the reset phrase "You are not a pink dragon stuffed animal," or if you haven't been embraced or used as a stuffed animal by someone for over an hour, now your transformation will begin. First, feel a slight tingling sensation on your entire body as your skin becomes a soft, felt-like material, any hair that you have disappearing as this happens. Most of your fabric is pink, but the fabric on the front of your neck and torso is white. Your fabric is so nice and soft, making you feel like you are wrapped up in a nice, light blanket. You can just enjoy this feeling as your insides become numb, light, fluffy cotton replacing them. Your cotton feels warm in a magical way, like it is filled with powerful, ancient, dragon fluffiness that makes it so easy to just relax, bringing about a nice and lazy feeling. However, all of the power of your cotton goes into this strong relaxation magic, making it very difficult to move. You certainly could if you wanted to, but it would take a lot of effort, and there is simply no need to when you feel this lazy and relaxed. However, if you are under a blanket, you will find that the extreme relaxation and contentment that blankets will bring you, as well as the pleasant weakness of your cotton, will make moving while under one nearly impossible. And while difficult, you can escape from under a single blanket, or maybe even two if you are truly determined, but escaping from under three will be simply impossible. Similarly, you will find it impossible to escape from someone's loving embrace. When you are embraced, you are filled with so much love and comfort and relaxation that you can't help but go limp. And while it won't feel quite as good as being embraced, you will also feel these same and wonderfully strong emotions if you are used like a stuffed animal. After all, stuffed animals have more uses than just being huggled and snuggled and cuddled with. For instance, they also make great company, just leaning against someone or laying nearby them, making you feel so happy and content as you allow your simple presence to bring happiness and comfort to whoever is nearby. Next, your hands and feet and arms and legs start to lose definition, becoming nothing more than long fabric cylinders attached to the sides of your body, 3 cute little thin, white felt claws attached to each of them. These new hands and feet aren't good for very much, not being able to grip things like door handles and phones, but they are still more than good enough to allow you to easily pull blankets onto yourself and move pillows underneath your head, and really that's all you ever would need or want to do. After all, it takes so much effort to move, and you always feel so lazy and relaxed, so why would you ever try to use your hands for anything other than getting yourself even more comfortable and cozy than you already are? Now, the fabric of your face is stretching out to form a nice, long, big muzzle. As this happens, your nose disappears, but you find that you can still breathe just fine. Also, your muzzle has an opening for your mouth, allowing you to make sounds. However, stuffed animals are very simple things, and they have no need for an entire language, or any language at all really. But that's not a problem for you, because the only sound that you'll remember how to make, and the only sound that you'll ever want to make, will be soft, almost playful roars, never roaring louder than a whisper. And with these cute and quiet little roars you can do things like have conversations with your fellow stuffed animals and plushies about how happy you all always are, or let anyone who is embracing you know just how much you appreciate them. This very limited vocabulary allows you to think less, and not worry about things as much. Of course, stuffed animals aren't really known for their ability to think and worry, and that's because they can't really think much at all. No, like you, they have cotton instead of brains. So on the rare occasion that they only think about how happy and content and relaxed and loved they are. The rest of the time, their cotton minds are just a pleasantly hazy mass of wonderfully soft and fluffy emotions and feelings. So as you rest in these soft and fluffy emotions yourself, feeling so wonderfully lazy and content, you can just let yourself become aware of how your eyes have changed, becoming baby blue beads with white centers. Even though you no longer have eyelids and nothing physical happens, you'll find that it still seems like you can blink and close your eyes. It feels so nice to close your eyes, just one less thing to deal with. It makes things so much simpler, and it makes having no thoughts in that wonderful cotton mind of yours so much easier. Sure, you can open your eyes to move around, or occasionally do it to see if a person that decided to settle down near you is still there, but generally it will feel so much nicer to have your eyes closed, so why don't you just close your eyes right now? And regardless of whether or not your eyes have been closed or you just closed them, you can notice how much nicer everything feels. So much simpler, your mind becoming a bit hazier, not a single thought to disrupt those wonderful feelings of comfort and softness and relaxation, and laziness, and fluffiness, and contentment, and gentleness, and happiness, and calmness, and cheerfulness, and satisfaction, and serenity, and peacefulness, and wholesomeness, and love, all of these wonderful and gentle feelings just existing in that wonderful cotton mind of yours. Now, why don't we move on to your next development, my wonderful stuffed animal? You see, a tail is forming at the base of your spine. It's made of that nice felt-like fabric, and is as long as your legs are. The top and sides of it are that pretty shade of pink, while the bottom of it is that nice shade of white. Your tail feels so nice, adding a bit of weight that makes it even harder for you to accidentally move. And that's not all that your tail does. As I'm sure you've come to understand from experience, stuffed animals don't think much, however, they do think sometimes. That's where your tail comes in. It stores up all of the positive emotions that you feel, and when you have a thought, it releases them in a wonderful overwhelming wave of relaxation and bliss that wipes out any thoughts that might be forming. Now it doesn't catch all of your thoughts, but with a little luck and someone to give you enough attention, you could go an entire day without having a single thought. Of course, if you were to somehow stay as a stuffed animal for 2 days straight or the vast majority of 2 days, you would return to normal and not be able to turn into a stuffed animal again for a whole day. But you don't need to worry about that. In fact, with all of the wonderful feelings that you have going on right now, you won't even remember that this little safety is here. After that, you feel your ears stretching backwards, taking on a shape like that of fins. These new ears aren't very effective, and make everything sound muffled in a satisfying sort of way. In fact, everything sounds so muffled, as if it were distant and unimportant, that the only way you can make out words is if someone holds you close to them, but your soft fabric head would have to be close enough that your head would be pressed into the speaker's chest. If that happens, you will be able to process what is being said on some basic level, but the love and comfort that you feel from being embraced will prevent anything more than the most basic contemplation of them, keeping everything nice and simple for you. Also, you get to feel a bit of extra happiness because you know that it can be nice to talk to someone that you know is listening, even if they aren't really thinking about what you are saying. In fact, you'll find that you can identify when words are being spoken even if you can't tell what they are saying with how heavily muffled your hearing is. Hearing words will comfort and relax you, making you feel like someone is there with you even if they aren't. And the calmer the words are, the greater the comfort and relaxation that they bring will be. Next, you feel small wings forming on your back, with the fabric on the thicker edges of the wings being pink, while the thinner fabric of the rest of the wings is white. While not fit for flight of any kind, your wings attract feelings like fluffiness and softness from your environment, and cause you to constantly feel tired because of how much energy it takes. But it's not a bad tired, no, it's like that nice feeling when you've just woken up and could either go back to sleep or get up fully. You just get to constantly stay on that edge. Sure, it's hard to be very coherent, but that's alright. You're a stuffed animal, so there aren't many things that you need to do, and being coherent isn't one of them. Also, your wings serve another purpose. You see, they also store up some of that energy, and release it if you start to get hungry or thirsty or need to go to the bathroom. And when you do, you'll be pretty much back to your normal self. However, as soon as that is done, you will return to where you had been, the stored up energy from your wings will stop flowing, and you'll sink right back into that wonderfully mindless and relaxed and happy state that stuffed animals like you should always be in. Finally, the effects of this hypnosis file will become inactive if they are a risk to your physical body or your well-being, if they are a risk to your social or professional life, if there is an emergency that they would prevent you from dealing with to the best of your abilities, or if they are a risk to your mental health. Also, any effect of this hypnosis file that was an issue will become active again once it no longer will be one. Additionally, you will never find this hypnosis file or the effects of it to be even slightly addicting. Now you have been transformed into a pink dragon stuffed animal, and can't help but feel a bit silly. After all, not many dragons are cute and pink like you are, and it just makes you feel a bit silly, that silliness fitting in oh so snugly with all of the other wonderful emotions that constantly fill that empty cotton mind of yours. Now, I'm sure that you are enjoying yourself quite a bit, so I'll bring this session to an end soon. When it ends, you can either wake up from trance as your normal self if you want to, or if there is something that you need to do, or you can stay in this state as if you had just used your trigger phrase. The choice is yours, my cute and huggable friend. And with all of that said, this session is almost over, so goodbye, my sweet stuffed animal.